So last night on WWE Raw, Nia Jax attacked Dean Ambrose just one night after entering the Men's Royal Rumble match. So Nia Jax is being included more in men's storylines, and this could mean big for the bigger picture and long term in WWE. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the possibility of a Nia Jax vs Dean Ambrose match, as well as the reasons why Nia Jax attacked Dean Ambrose, and some other possible candidates for Dean Ambrose's WrestleMania opponent. So the reason why Nia Jax attacked Dean Ambrose last night was there are a couple of reasons. I think the first one was to make sure Nia Jax keeps looking strong. She looked very strong entering that Men's Royal Rumble match, and they can't just have her going from that straight back to, squashing women, which she did actually do that night either way against Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, but they want to insert her more with men's storylines, it seems like, and so they had her confront Dean Ambrose out of nowhere. As well as this, it seems Nia's Royal Rumble appearance was to test the waters with doing more intergender matches. This is what Dave Meltzer of Figure 4 Weekly said. He said, "I think the idea is they want to slowly bring in this because this is the first time that a woman has taken punishment from a guy, and if you're going to do the first time, then you do it with a really big woman that's bigger than most of the guys. So that way people are going to go, it's not really, the woman's really big. So when you ease it in, that's one of the things they like to do." Basically what he's saying is that Nia Jax is kind of being used as a catalyst, as a stepping stone in order for more women to get involved in intergender matches. Now let's talk about the possibility of Nia Jax actually facing Dean Ambrose, maybe at WrestleMania. So today it was announced that Dean Ambrose has actually handed in his notice and that he'll probably be leaving WWE shortly after WrestleMania in April, which is pretty sad news. I think Dean Ambrose could have done a lot more. I think half of it was on WWE with their terrible booking of him, and the other half was just due to Dean Ambrose's general laziness. But with the fact that Dean Ambrose is leaving, it means if they have this intergender match, well, the first of its kind, we have seen intergender matches in the past couple years, like Becky Lynch versus James Ellsworth, Asuka versus James Ellsworth, but they never properly included women taking punishment from men. So if you were to do Dean Ambrose versus Nia Jax, you could have Nia Jax win it, and because it would have no long-term damage on Dean Ambrose because he's leaving. It would cement Nia Jax as a force while also not losing any heat or credibility in Dean Ambrose because he's leaving, so it doesn't really matter in the long term. So I think it is highly possible that Dean Ambrose and Nia Jax could have a match at WrestleMania. They might not have a match at WrestleMania, maybe even just on a Raw, because obviously Nia Jax is booked for the Women's Elimination Chamber. There's a high chance she could win that. We just have to wait and find out. So right here I have got a list of possible WrestleMania opponents that Dean Ambrose could face. Starting off, EC3. EC3, we're yet to see him wrestle on main roster yet. He should have debuted in the Rumble. I don't know why he didn't. But this match was actually rumored a couple days ago, and I think it would probably be a good match. I doubt neither of them will have anything to do if this match doesn't happen. Probably the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but I think this match will be a perfectly plausible match. Next up we have Dean Ambrose versus Finn Balor. Unless Finn Balor goes for one of the championships, like after Bobby Lashley, I could definitely see him facing off against Dean Ambrose. I think that's a perfectly plausible matchup that could realistically happen. Next up, Dean Ambrose versus Braun Strowman. I have no idea what Braun Strowman is going to be doing at this year's WrestleMania. He's definitely not going to be involved in the world title picture. He could maybe face Bobby Lashley one-on-one for the championship, but I'm not sure that could happen. I think him and Dean Ambrose, to my knowledge, they haven't had a proper competitive one-on-one match. There's been squashes and things like that, but to my knowledge, there's never been a competitive one-on-one match, so I could definitely see this match happening. The next match, and the match that I probably want to happen the most out of all of these, is Alistair Black versus Dean Ambrose. Now, we all saw in the Royal Rumble, Alistair Black eliminated Dean Ambrose from the match, which was a really big moment. That could possibly be the way the feud starts, and why it starts, the reason for it. Alistair Black is rumored to be called up after he lost the NXT Championship and has failed to regain it. I could definitely see Alistair Black facing Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania. But here's the one that I think is the most likely. Obviously in the past we have seen ladder matches at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 31 we saw the Intercontinental Championship ladder match with Daniel Bryan winning it. And then next year we had another Intercontinental Championship ladder match with Zack Ryder winning it. The year after that we had the Tag Team Championship ladder match with the Hardys winning it. But last year we saw nothing. So I think this year they could possibly bring it back for the Intercontinental Championship to use a bunch of guys on Raw that might not get booked. This is what I think it could possibly look like with Bobby, Braun, Dolph, Drew, Finn, Dean, and Alistair Black. Maybe a returning Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn could be thrown in there instead of Alistair. Maybe EC3. Maybe Nia Jax could be thrown in there, but that's probably a long shot. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. This was kind of a real reasons video, plus news video, plus top 5, all mixed into one, something I've never really done before. So I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I hope you guys see where I'm coming from and why I think a Dean Ambrose Nia Jax match is very possible and could be realistic. So goodbye, guys, and keep on rolling.